Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguele. Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibajo says government is encouraged by the innovation of young Nigerians and their resilience, stating that the country is on the right path and will continue to stand by, support and create opportunities for young Nigerians in micro, small and medium enterprises to grow and prosper. The Vice President said this at the 4th Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Awards night, which capped a week of activities marking the 2021 World MSME Day. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Every day, every week, every month and year, the environment for micro, small and medium enterprises keeps getting better. And so it's the award to operators and stakeholders to further encourage them to do more to boost the economy and make life easier. Since its inauguration in 2018, the National Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Awards has grown in leaps and bounds.
Employ a good number of Nigerian young men and women, and all of them have worked very hard to develop their businesses. But today is not just about them. Of course, they are the winners, but it's also about the so many who obviously couldn't make even the top three, but are nevertheless very ingenious, very great businesses in their own right, and doing awesome things. And so we really must celebrate all of them, the nominees and those who were not even nominated, because as I said, just entries alone, we had over 10,000.
This is an annual celebration of excellence and innovation in the sector, as the Vice President explains, is to draw more attention to the challenges and prospects in the micro, small, medium enterprises sector.
We're greatly encouraged by the innovation of young Nigerians and your resilience. We are on the right path, and I very strongly believe that what we're seeing today, once our business environment gets better and we improve our business environment, improve access to credit for many of our young businesses, unleash this waiting talent and creativity, our country will certainly never be the same.
Different than putting or giving special attention to, removing the hiccups and the normal bureaucracies that stops the proliferation of small businesses, and putting special funds in order to support the small and medium enterprises, and taking power, electricity, which is very essential for the success of businesses in order for them to thrive, and giving them the protection and security that is very essential in the normal business setting. So we're doing all that, and we've been getting the support of the federal government in those regards.
Individuals and organizations described as dependable partners for all MSME clinics related programs received commendation. From the banquet hall of the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Well, beyond financing micro and small medium enterprises, guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria have urged the federal government to grow their knowledge base and entrepreneurial skills through institutionalized support systems. Well, the guests are optimistic that with more capacity building, survivalist entrepreneurs will increase in competence to create and grow wealth. Lydia Sampson will tell us more.
There are more than 41 million MSMEs in Nigeria, according to statistics from the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. Their challenges have been compounded by the COVID-19 pandemic, compelling government to increase access to survival funds. The Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment said work is ongoing to get informal businesses formalized in order to thrive.
AFCFTA has taken off. So we need to get these MSMEs to understand the rubrics of access to the market. How do they need to ensure the quality of their products? How do they understand how to export?
For the other guests, there is need to empower small-scale businesses to graduate from vocational to industrial capacity to serve specific needs in agriculture, mining, and even the creative industries.
Said there's a need for us to retweak the kind of skills that the MSMEs have, because the big companies require some specific kind of industrial skills. So we must move just beyond vocational skills to industrial skills. I can have a vocational skills and then I can complement it with an industrial skill.
There is a point for us to move back a bit, to reflect on the type of economic system we want to run in Nigeria. And probably that thinking will now enable us to put in place the appropriate measures, appropriate support for the SMEs, assuming we want to run a sort of economy that has the SMEs at the heart of it.
Power is a huge challenge. It is a problem. And this is an area that I think that the government needs to, I know the government is doing a lot. I must applaud the efforts. However, there is need to increase the focus on power.
The guests agree that with more collaboration, small and medium-scale enterprises will play a critical role in Nigeria's post-COVID-19 economic recovery. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The Conference of Speakers of State Legislators of Nigeria have strongly advocated state and community policing as panaceas towards tackling the rise in insecurity in the country. This formed part of their communique at the end of their second quarter meeting in Asaba, the Delta State capital. Tessie Kuka reports.
This was one of the outcomes of the conference's second quarter general meeting in Asaba, the Delta State capital. In a communique signed by its chairman and speaker, Bauchi State House of Assembly, Abubakar Suleiman, on behalf of the speakers, urged major stakeholders in the country to use the instrumentalities of the ongoing review of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to accommodate community police and state police in the country.
Well, the issue of the relationship between especially the executive and the legislature is something that has to be, improved. And thank God we in Delta State here, they set the pace, but not only Delta, there are other states that practice financial autonomy. That's why we call on the other states that are not implemented or have not yet implemented the financial autonomy to do so.
It was muted that the communique would help in effectively tackling the rising wave of insecurity currently bedeviling the nation, while commending the efforts of the Delta State Governor, Governor Kowa, and the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Sheriff Oborowori, for hosting the meeting to discuss a wide range of issues affecting the nation. The conference also commended the Delta State government for implementing financial autonomy for the legislature. In Asaba, Tessie Koka, NTA News.
Let's turn our attention to Agric now. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, in partnership with Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, has initiated a new policy known as the National Animal Identification and Traceability System as part of the strategies to end the lingering farmers-herders conflicts and also to boost livestock farming in the southwest region. Yemi Dalemo was at the advocacy campaign on the policy held in Abuja, the Ogun State capital. Now let's hear that report.
Engagement afforded relevant stakeholders in the livestock sector and value chain the opportunity to know more about the new policy to enhance livestock farming in the southwest region through the implementation of the National Animal Identification and Traceability System. The policy, as stipulated by the International Committee for Animal Recording, is characterized by the use of forgery-proof air tags and livestock passports.
If you fix it on the ears, it will show you everything about that cow. Why it was born, who is the owner, and what is the address. We are scanning it and give it to security agents. And therefore, we are saving the animals. We are saving our property.
Members of Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, while commending the initiative, say it will foster cooperation, peaceful coexistence between farmers and herders, resist invasion of foreign pastoralists, among other benefits.
We are accepting that it can be traced through satellite or through mobile phones.
With this system they bring, I think when government hold it well and manage it as they explain to us, I think this can reduce the clashes of farmers and the herders.
The gathering agreed that the policy will also help to nip in the bud other security breaches occasioned by lack of effective animal information management for economic growth in Nigeria through livestock farming. In Abuja, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
And more on Agric, the National Agricultural Land Development Authority under the Federal Ministry of Agriculture has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Abia State Government on agricultural program in the state. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
Under the Memorandum of Understanding, the Abia State Government will provide land for the federal government to establish farm estate for youths interested in farming activities. This will include engagement of youth in poultry, which is expected to lead and further boost chicken and egg production in the state. The Executive Secretary of the National Agricultural Land Development Authority signed the MOU with the state government.
And what that means to Abia people is that Abia will be known for production of eggs and finished product in terms of chicken, and unemployment will definitely reduce drastically.
The state is also to benefit from NALDA Women Empowerment Program. Fish ponds are being established in 50 locations in the state, which will be made available to women interested in fish business. Similar fish program is underway in Maiduguri, Borno State.
3 locations to take in women into the value chain of fish production, from the hatchery point to growing, processing and packaging. Again, NALDA's mandate is to make sure that we achieve food security, and not only for our consumption but for export in order to earn funding.
The mandate given to NALDA by President Muhammadu Buhari is to open up and create a platform that will boost agricultural activities and at the same time create job opportunity for the teeming youths. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Benue State government is set to collaborate with its Rivers State counterpart in the area of agriculture and food value chain production. Governor Samuel Otom stated this after receiving the report of a delegation sent to Rivers State to work out modalities. Charles Abba reports that a new chancellor for the Benue State University was also appointed by the governor.
Of the delegation, Professor Dennis Itiavia explained that the letter of appointment from Governor Samuel Otom to His Royal Majesty King Disrael Bobo Bob Manuel Owukori IX Anyamanabo of Obonema, Rivers State, as new Chancellor of Benue State University, Makurdi, was delivered to him.
His Royal Majesty invited several people, including other kings in River State, and so we were given a very good reception. We passed your message that you have appointed him as Chancellor, and they were very excited. He said that he has accepted this, but he will meet with all his chiefs and he will tell them, and then he will come officially.
Governor Samuel Otom, who thanked the delegates for the message delivered, noted that the appointment of the king would further deepen the good relationship between Benue and Rivers State. He maintained that the two states would sign a memorandum of understanding on partnering to boost agricultural produce in Benue, which would in turn be a source of supply of food items like yam, maize, rice, and others to Rivers State.
We do not have monopoly of doing everything, and so you require one another to complement what you have. And then once you're able to achieve that level of collaboration, you can produce wonders.
The development, the governor said, would not only ensure food security, but a means of economic empowerment for many people, as it will be privately driven. In Makurdi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
And in Imo State, the State Governor Hope Ozodinma has pledged commitment to provision of an enabling environment to make room for ease of doing business. He made this known when he received a delegation of National Onion Producers, Processors and Marketers Association of Nigeria in Government House, Owerri. Bright Ebucho reports.
The National Onion Producers, Processors and Marketers Association of Nigeria are in Imo State to deliberate on recent attacks on members of the association in Imo State, which has posed a challenge to meeting the demand of onion consumers in the state. National President of the association, Alhaji Aliyu Metasimo, lauded Governor Uzodinma for his commitment in promoting unity and peaceful coexistence in the Southeast region, stressing that the association is willing to collaborate with the government if an enabling environment is provided to ensure ease of doing business.
We request His Excellency to set up a committee that will consist of Imo State indigents and our members for the promotion of onion business in Imo State.
Governor Hope Uzodinma sympathized with the association on the unfortunate loss of lives and goods belonging to some of their members during the recent crisis in the state. He further pledges to set up a committee to work out modalities to cushion the effect of the unfortunate incident.
I have a duty as the governor of the state to make sure that every Nigerian in this part of the country, Imo State, where I'm the governor, must be protected.
The outcome of the meeting is an agreement to work together to ensure that peace prevails. In Owerri, Bright Ibuchu, NTA News.
The Abuja-Kaduna Standard train today broke down a few minutes after takeoff from the Rigasa station in Kaduna. The operations manager, Abuja-Kaduna train, Victor Adamu, in a telephone chat confirmed the incident, stating it was due to a mechanical fault which affected locomotive 2701, resulting to its shutting down a few minutes from takeoff in Duse station. He disclosed that another locomotive has been dispatched to convey passengers to Abuja. The Abuja-Kaduna train similarly witnessed breakdown on the 26th of this month. Right, let's make a stop now in Lagos, where Kende is standing by to bring us the next set of reports. Kende.
Hello, Ruth, and welcome to Lagos. Nigeria is making reference to its numerous anti-piracy interventions and maritime security frameworks as reasons why the international community should consider a waiver or possible removal of war risk insurance premium on the country-bound cargoes. At a press briefing in Lagos, the Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Bashir Jamo, said the payment is having adverse effect on prices of commodities.
Notorious to be the safe haven for crimes and criminality in the world, the Gulf of Guinea attracts more war risk insurance, and ship owners requesting to sail in the region will have to obtain approval from their insurers. This trend is what the federal government said must change, putting into consideration the gradual reduction in piracy and attacks on sea, which are the resultants of the huge infrastructure and legislation committed to ending the menace.
They said they appreciated our commitment. They appreciated the progress made so far. So go back to the benchmarking and see which item and which item you can tick. Tick it, we agree, then reduce the insurance premium so that Nigerians cannot continue to suffer to pay something that they are not due for.
According to Oceans Beyond Piracy reports, Nigerian-bound ships transiting the Gulf of Guinea incurred $55.5 million in 2020 alone as additional war risk area premium, and 35% of ships transiting the area also carried additional kidnap and ransom insurance, totaling $100.7 million.
If today they remove this war risk insurance, each and every Nigerian will be a beneficiary, and at the end of the day, shipping trade will continue to boom in Nigeria. Those international communities that they want to invest in shipping trade and they are afraid because of this stigma, they will now ease up their attention and they will now continue to come and invest.
The alliance signed with the International Coordinating Center on how to enhance the implementation of the Yaoundé architecture is similar to the approach adopted to resolve criminality on the Indian Ocean. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
For Nigeria to be at par with other developed countries in terms of technology advancement and an improved engineering capability, a deliberate attempt at implementing policies to reposition the sector is required. Some key players in the engineering sector say while the body of professionals are bringing scientific knowledge to bear, actions should be intensified to make the sector more viable. Abolade Salami reports.
Delivering a paper titled Locating Engineering and Technology in Government for Growth and Development, Professor Ayo Ogunye, former president of the Nigerian Academy of Engineering, alluded to the fact that no nation develops without due attention to research, technology, and innovation. He identified lack of integration of engineering and technology in policy formulation and implementation as bane to the growth of the sector in the country.
That if you are not registered by current, you don't call yourself engineer. Because current has the yardstick before they make you an engineer. It's not the people carrying screwdriver. The screwdriver carriers call themselves engineers, and we recognize them. That should not be the case.
As no country in the world develops without technology or technical know-how, the Nigerian Academy of Engineering is advocating more funding to the Ministry of Science and Technology and the engagement of local engineers in the execution of projects.
We remain convinced that our country would more easily achieve our national aspirations with more logical and scientific approach to solving identified challenges in all areas of our economy.
Engineering cannot grow without getting into government, without government agreeing to what we are saying. There will be no development. That's just the bottom line. So for it to grow, it's engineering and technology, nothing more, nothing less.
President, Nigerian Academy of Engineering, Alex Ogidegbe, said with over 8 to 10% gross domestic product growth recorded through engineering, technology, and manufacturing sectors in the Chinese economy in the last 2 decades, the Board of Engineering Academia inducted new members to the fold as well as developing this sector in Nigeria. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We'll take a short break now. Nationwide continues with Mina after the break.
Youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support, yes, by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Issues of drugs and arms with direct consequences on national security. That is our focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week, with those who should know. Tuesday Live, every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. It promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
and welcome to Enugu. The Archbishop of Enugu has commended the federal government for infrastructural projects, especially the flag-off of the Nigerian Eastern Rail Corridor project, describing it as a right step in the right direction. This was contained in a 12-point communique issued at the end of the first session of the 18th Synod of the Diocese in Enugu.
While addressing the synod at Emmanuel Anglican Church in Enugu, Archbishop Emmanuel Chukwuma noted that the project, when completed, will reactivate economic activities along the Eastern Corridor. The church, he said, will continue in its resolve to contribute to the betterment of the country, urging the federal government to dialogue with various aggrieved groups with a view to enshrining peace in the country. He condemned the destruction of public infrastructure and killings in the country.
The banditry, the kidnapping, the violence, and all that we see today that is becoming so much a thing of fearfulness, all because people have refused to imbibe Christ in their lives. And Christ is light. If Christ gets into our life, then we shall shine.
Enugu State Governor, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, congratulated the church for its fervent prayers for the peace of the nation, promising the state government support to the church.
I want to ask you to continue to pray for His Excellency and to pray for Enugu State.
Earlier in a homily, the Bishop of Nike Diocese, who spoke on God's dominion over siege of life, charged believers to be faithful to God and be kind to their neighbors.
If you abide in me and I am in you, you will produce much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing.
The Synod Thanksgiving featured ordination of the diocesan chancellor and the presentation of a communique. In Enugu, Chimaroke Ugu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA Channel 5, Awka, has joined the beneficiaries of the second phase of federal government disinfection and decontamination against COVID-19 exercise. Daniel Okbai reports.
In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the federal government, through its special task force, initiated a series of measures and protocols to flatten the curve and reduce mortality. One of such measures is the disinfection and decontamination of federal parastatals, ministries, and agencies. NTA Channel 5 Awka is privileged to benefit from the second phase of this initiative. The COVID-19 response team of the Federal Fire Service in Anambra State, in partnership with the State Environmental Health Services, were at the dual offices of the broadcast station for the exercise.
It's just a program being mapped out by the federal government to have a safe working environment for its workers.
To make sure that the pathogenic organism, the COVID-19 itself, is being get rid of if it is in the environment.
For the management of the organization, it is a pathway to ensuring a safer environment for the staff.
Very good initiative by the administration to make sure that all federal parastatals are decontaminated and disinfected to make the offices conducive for everybody to work in.
The federal government says it is not rescinding in its resolve to ensure that victory is achieved in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic. In Awka, Daniel Okbai, NTA News.
And that's a bit from Enugu. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Mina. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has identified corruption and lack of knowledge of the subject matter as some of the factors responsible for poorly drafted negotiation agreements. He stated this at a capacity building training for Nigerian negotiators organized by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission in collaboration with Interagency Committee on Stopping Illicit Financial Flows in the country. The report.
Poorly drafted negotiations agreement can lead to serious financial loss for countries. The African continent is losing billions of dollars due to poorly drafted agreement, with Nigeria having its fair share. Remember the case of P&ID. To bring these to barest minimum, Nigeria's top negotiators are undergoing capacity building workshop aimed at equipping them with the type of clauses to look out for to protect the laws of the country and equally prevent it from losing revenue, especially through illicit financial flows. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says in drafting agreement for the country, negotiators must take into cognizance of other development around the subject matter of the agreement so as to protect the country's interests.
Now here we are, a gas-rich country. As a matter of fact, we are more a gas country than an oil country. We know that our gas is important, not just as a transition fuel to cleaner fuels from oil, but all over the world, the major countries are defunding gas projects, and the time may come very quickly when we'll not be able to find any money. So anyone who is going to negotiate at COP26 today, or anyone who is talking about climate change, the most important issue for us is that there must be a just transition from fossil fuels to any type of clean energy.
While checks and balances must be observed by negotiators, experts are of the opinion that there is need for negotiation guidelines.
I think the most important thing is, first of all, to get a negotiating mandate. We must know what is our national position on all these issues and what are the national interests that we want to achieve through these negotiations. Very closely related to that, of course, is that you must prepare.
The training is expected to come up with new draft guidelines for consideration.
A look at legislative affairs. The Senate Committee on Appropriations has commenced scrutiny of the 2021 supplementary budget of 895.8 billion naira at the first meeting of the committee involving concerned subcommittees on health and security. Chairman of the Committee on Appropriations, Jibrin Barrow, explained that inasmuch as the committee is committed to giving it accelerated consideration, it will not flout due process.
Particularly the COVID-19 vaccine, which is an urgent and emergency request. And then, of course, the military. We are going to do that urgently, but we will not compromise any of the essentials in the process. We'll make sure that we comply with the minimum standard. Yes, there's that urgency, but again, the standard is very important. We will comply with the necessary standard so that we do not breach any of the rules in dealing with this kind of situation.
The committee is working to ensure it presents its report at plenary this week. And now to electoral matters. Following approval by the Governor of Yobe State, Malabuni-led Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, the All Progressives Congress has released the timetable and schedule of activities for the conduct of its wards, local government and state congresses. A statement by the party's Director of Organization, Professor Al-Mustafa Usiju Medana. Ward congresses will hold on 24th July 2021. Local government congresses, including 3-man delegates to National Convention, will hold on 14th August 2021. State congresses will hold on 18th September 2021. The APC in the statement said female aspirants and persons with disabilities aspirants are to pay 50% of the prescribed fees for each position. The National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has approved the nomination of some party members to serve on its governorship primary electoral appeal panel for the November 6 Anambra State election. The party's National Organizing Secretary, Austin Akobundu, in a statement says the 25-member panel is chaired by the PDP National Chairman, Prince Uche Secondus, while the party's National Secretary, Senator Umaru Sauri, is secretary. It adds that the panel will consider appeals arising from the conduct of the Anambra State governorship primary election. All right, Okay, let's head to Jos now. Zemret is already waiting. She wants to give us the next set of reports.
Thank you, Ruth, and thanks for joining us in Jos. Jos University Teaching Hospital has recorded another feat with successful closed heart surgery on 2 patients. Bilkis Nuhu has details.
Period C-doctomy. For the lead surgeon, the closed heart surgery carried out on the 2 patients is another milestone in the Jos University Teaching Hospital, being one of the first heart surgeries conducted without partnership from foreign organizations. He explained that the special thing about the surgeries is that the hospital made use of facilities within its reach, thanking God that the patients are in good condition.
Because of the lack of insurance, the proper insurance, and people pay from their pockets, so it's not easy. For instance, these 2 patients, if they were to go elsewhere, they will pay between $4,000 and $5,000. And if you look at the exchange rate, that's not something quite easy for an average Nigerian. And for us here, we have tried to make it to the barest minimum.
Mother of the 16-year-old boy speaks.
We are grateful and pray that God will continue to guide our doctors and give them wisdom.
In Jos, Bilkis Nuhu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, stakeholders in the education sector have been told not to compromise quality, considering its place in the development of nations. Former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Jos, Professor Sedi Sebastian Meimoko, made this plea at a valedictory session in his honor. A Cameron Kaneng-Ladoja reports.
The Vice-Chancellor, while speaking on his achievements, said governing a university is challenging as the institution is burdened with oversight functions. He says during his tenure, the university enjoyed full accreditation of 43 courses, as well as accomplished reasonable infrastructural development amongst other new. He describes the university as an academic community which takes pride in quality, thus investing in ICT and research development.
Without students, there will be no Vice-Chancellor. Without students, there will be no lecturers. And it is our responsibility to keep our students, to maintain the welfare of our students the much we can, to serve God and humanity.
Professor Sedi Sebastian Meimoko was the 9th substantive Vice-Chancellor of the University of Jos. In Jos, Cameron Kaneng-Ladoja.
The much anticipated UEFA Euro 2021 is finally here. Can Portugal defend the title they won 4 years ago as they face world champions France, Europe giants Germany, Spain, Italy and England? Catch all the action via live transmission, in-depth studio analysis, fixtures, results, updates, and lots more on NTA, Africa's largest TV network. For sponsorship and advert placement, contact Bola on 0644. This broadcast is proudly brought to you by NTA in partnership with Media Business Solutions, MBS Sports.
The Council of Our Fathers.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
Nigerian
monthly or 160 naira per day. Recharge now to enjoy all the matches. Watch Football Stars. No matter load Star Times on app on your phone. Charge to Star Times. You can 160 naira. Terms and conditions apply. Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Welcome back to Abuja. We'll be joining Ibadan when we get a signal from them. But let's pick up from here. Engaging youths to spearhead campaign against drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking is critical to executing listen more to their peers. Lydia Sampson reports.
Drugs worth 90 billion naira have been seized by the NDLEA in the last 5 months, with an estimated 10.6 million Nigerians said to be actively abusing cannabis. Reversing the worrisome trend is considered a tax for all and not...
No, needs them
The first thing, if you just go and meet the mother.
NDLEA alone cannot do it. NAFDAC cannot do it. Even with the support of security agencies, that won't cut it for us. Enforcement, law enforcement, yes, beautiful. But it's just one pillar of that struggle. We need massive public enlightenment. More than anything else, we must find ingenious ways of enlisting the young people of Nigeria and getting them to take ownership of this war against drug abuse.
The guests urge relevant agencies to identify sober youth who wants to quit and help them with psychological support.
Must rise up and confront head-on negative vices being committed by some individuals or groups owing to the multiply effects some negative tendencies have on the country. Now, this is the resolve of the management of University of Abuja at an occasion marking the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking with the theme, Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, Consequences and Solution. Consider determination to ruthlessly fight the scourge on its campus so that its products can be the vanguard against the ills associated with it, wherever they may find themselves after graduation.
This university, we are determined to ensure that we get to the bottom of it. We assist our students to clearly avoid drug abuse, to not to fall into this pit, to ensure that when they are here, they live a healthy life.
Fortunately, it's also the stage whereby many students are introduced to drugs. So, being that the freshers are here, we thought that students will be taught and told by experts in this area the ill effects of drug abuse and substance use.
Spoke on the adverse effects of drug abuse, its control in campuses and beyond, shared ideas on drugs to save lives and from getting lost. The federal government has assured Nigerians of adequate security for all the 110 unity colleges across the country. Minister of Education Adamu gave the assurance while inaugurating 11. Sandra Akeme has details.
Before now, the federal government college Otobi lacked many infrastructural facilities required of a federal unity college, which, according to the students and staff, deprived them of a conducive atmosphere for both teaching and learning.
We don't actually do practicals before, but now he enabled more practicals.
However, with the coming of the administration of President Buhari, all that have changed as the school has now been provided with both infrastructure and manpower. The projects inaugurated include a 3,000 capacity assembly hall, a modern administrative block, and 2 blocks of students' hostels. Others are science laboratories, 950 meters ring road, drainage channel, basket and volleyball courts. Minister of Education Adamu, represented by the Permanent Secretary Sonny Echonu, said the present government efforts to ensure the safety of schools in the country.
The school is wearing a new look, and people are, even the parents are happy to bring their children here. We had been ahead to provide some funds for security infrastructure.
The Permanent Secretary also disclosed that the federal government has approved the full employment that all the projects would be properly maintained.
Students will be happy when you give them the best. So I think you know what you want to do and you focus on what you want to do.
From Otobi, Otukpo local government area of Benue State, Sandra Akeme, NTA News.
All right, Kemi is ready for us now, so let's join her in Ibadan. Kemi.
In view of the recorded incident, some traditional rulers
The meeting with second and third class traditional rulers in the state lasted for more than 2 hours. The governor briefed the press immediately after the meeting.
So it's a discussion on how to have better security, on how to manage ourselves, on how to reduce conflict, on creating an avenue for dialogue between farmers and herders.
Still on sick, earlier inspected the barracks, where he observed the dilapidated state of the residential areas of the men of the mobile police and their families. He had promised to help improve on their accommodation situation, a promise he is already keeping through the renovation of some facilities at the mobile police barracks.
There's a lot of challenges accommodating everybody here, but some of the communities are worried. So we have to reassure the communities to be good ambassadors.
He said the state government will not rest on its oars to ensure improved welfare for security.
And for residents of flood-prone areas, Joel.
The persisting challenge of gully erosion bedeviling residents of flood-prone areas in Olorun-Shogun community along Ikogba Road is further compounded by the torrential rain, which has made them more vulnerable to the threat of erosion. There are several dangerous gully erosion sites in Olorun-Shogun, posing serious threat to lives and properties, as many houses are just few meters away from the gully erosion, with occupants living in palpable fear.
6 years I've been in this community, I've never witnessed such erosion. Nobody can sleep throughout this yesterday. We really worked in evening time.
We cannot even come out when it's raining. It's a serious case.
Solution to the menace.
We need to improve on our drainage system and drainage plan for the community so that we'll safeguard this whole area.
Residents are hoping government will hasten its intervention to save them from the imminent danger. In Ijebu-Ode, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. It's back to Ruth in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Kemi. More than 2,000 people benefited from the optical and dental outreach program organized by the CAMS Charity Foundation in collaboration with Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors.
With the theme "My Health, My Pride," the optical and dental outreach in Daura and Mani by the CAMS Charity Foundation is aimed to assist the less privileged in the society.
We've tried as much as possible to enhance our outreach to make sure that no single person with any form of disability is left out.
A 4-year-old Aliu Sani is faced with eye problem as a result of measles for more than 3 years. Aliu Sani was brought by his mother, Hawa Abdullahi, who was visibly overwhelmed by the assistance to her young Aliu. Similar operation was held at Mani, where the foundation donated food items, toiletries, glasses, as well as drugs, among others, to the beneficiaries.
All right, Sport Update is next.